Hello, and welcome back. The Pillars of Eternity. Let's enter the Crucible Keep. Interesting. Justiciar Aldmar.
Good day, stranger.
Aldmar gave me an uprising eye. Judging by the scars of his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the hinterlands, pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us busy on the watch, though. You look like you've recently arrived yourself. Who are you? A soldier of the Crucible Knights, proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so the commander leader can focus on more important matters. Looking for something, or just knocking the dirt off your boots? I have information about Eorn. He glanced around cautiously, then leaned in toward me. He lowered his voice. Eorn, you say? Well, what became of him? I found him in the catacombs under the Copperlands, and killed him there. Well, nicely done then. Euron seen to, and already buried at that. You saved us a good deal of work. You've done the Crucible Knights a real service, and we won't forget that here. Something of your troubles. 200 coppers, that's it? That's all you can give me? Suppose you're right. Less is growing with foul things. Here you go. Again, you have our thanks. Does that count for a turn, by the way? No.
Nice and quiet.
This place is filled with things we can steal. This is a record of active patrols and imported crimes on Odra's gift. The latter file numbers the former. Okay. Any quest items gained? Things to sell, books to read. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool spell and all, but we don't need it. Move in here. We need to deal with Heritage Hill. Whatever. The Justiciar's gaze flicked over me briefly before returning to the novities gathered at the trainer. With this about the patrols, my novities are already scratched to its limit. Between the refugee influx and the massive Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. I'm sorry. Was there something else you need? What? What exactly is it that you do here? I'm in charge of the Keep novities. I'm responsible for their training and patrol assignments. They're good soldiers, and they've been quick to adapt to a new challenge. If there's anything else, I must attend to my duties. Something is wrong with Heritage Hill. What is it wrong? What isn't wrong is the real question. The whole district of walking flesh-eating corpses was still the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there. and yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumors about the place floating around the keep without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. I just as soon abandon the district if those monsters should find a way out. What is it that you do here? In charge of the keep notice? Yeah, we read that. Tell me about Heritage Hill. Used to be one of the most prestigious districts in Defiance Bay, but a few months ago the residents all went mad, started eating each other, and anything else that had bad luck of wander into the district. I've never seen anything like it. Now every novice that stands guard there, everyone that comes back anyway, talks of a stench of the grave and the groans of unspeakable horror. That's why, and how, the question for the Animancers, I've sealed the district in hopes of containing whatever happened there. It seems to be working for now. You said earlier something was wrong there. Okay, I could look into it. That's what I just told you. You want to go to Heritage Hill. I've lost trained soldiers there. Why should I let anyone in? Your trained knights have nothing on me. If you are so eager to rush to your death, I won't stop you, and if you are somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gate. Fare thee well. We're looking for an armor though. Crucible Knights. Pathetic bunch, aren't they? Shining armor, sharp weapons, and basically nothing to accompany it. We just discovered a forge.
Laying low.
New things to steal. That's what discover means. Are you chasing me? Yeah, I already have the max of that. This is for me.
How may I help?
Nothing else here. Dunstan.
If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
I found several fragments of an ancient sword. Do you think you could repair it? That's a fine blade indeed, looks Adrian, special made. You've been a commission for a champion of sorts. A sword of this caliber would have been a specially designed hilt too. It would be a shame to graft anything else onto it, and besides, it will balance best with all the original pieces. You find the rest of it, and I'll forge it for you. Tell me about the
We were
knots.
all smiths back in Hodred's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
Good. He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lingering and connections to the Direwoods heroes of old. Other than Dunran's Row, who really knows about any of that though?
I'm a forge master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
If they wanted to be soldiers, let them be soldiers. If they wanted to be forge masters, let them forge. Do you sell anything? No? Okay. Penhound.
Greetings.
The young novelite's armor is recently shined and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's even seen battle, or that the scarred antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. Are you looking for something? Do you know the name Osric? If you've got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of the new friends at the Expedition Hall. For that matter, scamps and delinquents, the lot of them. Is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine, and it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. What is the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinion, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family has such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He finally went too far. He had the gall to suggest that we had strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble Aedra's nobility. He would have also wear rod-palms and fight with forged hammers. I merely reported his statements. I don't see the problem. People change, organizations change. The Crucible Knights began as a military blacksmith, but Dustin's one of the only officials who can wield a hammer these days. We're professional soldiers. That's that. Who you want to defend in the city. Besides, a Novarite has no business mingling with his superiors. He says he originated it is a forgery. Just what would he know of that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspirations that with a pedigree in the Knights. It's a lie, of course. Of course. How does someone become a knight? We don't take just anyone. Our members share so language and the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. Anyhow, Commander Cleaver is responsible for initiates, but he rarely accepts foreigners. So, you are a pathetic lot who don't accept anyone outside their circle of interest. Well, typical nobles. Was there anything else? No.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay. Barracks. Is that it? Is that barracks?
I shall be discreet.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Thick grime cakes at the bottom of the tub. Towel hanging from the side gives off an awful stench. And that's the muscle, right? This painting shows a row of warriors standing atop a wall, Defiance Bay, while Adrian ships sail away.
We just don't have the manpower.
And there was a thought bubble above that guy's head that said, "Damn it, we missed the ship."
Slow and silent.
Don't mind me. Yeah, whatever. We've actually found so many.
I'm on the
objects.
trail.
Okay, what about this guy? It's absolutely the same as this one. Okay, so those fine warbow, you say? Well, Cannon's not in the party, so I don't mind. Commander Cleaver. Shall we talk, mate?
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood. The dozens getting them all riled up about animancy. At this rate, we'll need twice the soldiers to patrol Defiance Bay. Yes? Can I help you with something?
You don't have enough soldiers.
Fleetbreaker Castle. The High Justice has summoned almost half of my novitiates, and more of my justiciars to a keep on the other side of New Hailmar. It's not for me to question the High Justice's orders, but it's left us short-handed. And mark me, we're just a couple sparks away from anarchy.
Oh, I'm happy to see that. Is there any way I can help? I know how to handle a blade. Always refreshing to meet someone who'd rather fix a problem than complain about it. Forge Master Dunstan is working with the Animancy's core to build what we are calling Forge Knights, warriors that can patrol our streets without suffering fatigue, disobedience or fear. Some agitator throws a rock at them, we don't have to worry about things getting out of hand. He's constructed the armor that we need to Scour's research. Unfortunately, she hasn't been around the last few times my Novites have checked. Viana leaves with the rest of the Scavengers out in the Copperlands, and I haven't the soldiers to spare at the moment. Go to the Scavengers' dormitory and see if you can find her. When you get the research, just bring it to Dunstan. This is his area of expertise anyway. Once you've brought him the research, he can sell you any arms or armor if you have need. He forges and repairs all of our equipment. You won't find a more capable smith in Defiance Bay. Now, is there something else I can help you with? You're in charge of the Crucible Knights. Here in Defiance Bay, anyhow, the High Justice is the leader of our order. He's currently stationed in Freebreaker's castle. My job is to oversee the forces in Defiance Bay and to keep order to the Duke. Tell me about the Knights. We're the only professional army in Defiance Bay, or in the Diode for that matter. We defended the city of Hundred's Day. We've improved our training since then, but Dunred's Row can clarify that many of our officers come from good Darwoodian fighting stock. Now, we're responsible for patrolling the city and keeping the peace. With so many refugees pouring in from the countryside, that's become more important than ever. Unfortunately, that's earned us enemies, particularly amongst the dozens, and some of the more enterprising families in Defiance Bay. What exactly do the dozens have against you? They're degenerates and troublemakers. They forget that Defiance Bay is one of the largest cities in the world, and not some frontier outpost. Most of them are mercenaries on a good day and street thugs at the rest of the time. Needless to say, they've no patience for law and order. They sound like my kind of people, actually. And about the enterprising families? House Domanel, namely. They're one of the city's oldest noble families. It is the largest crime organization. Their patriarch, Gedmar, has been trying to take advantage of the turmoil to extend his operations, but kept on top of them. He hasn't been too happy about that. Okay. Is there something else? No, that's it. Thank you. Built to last.
I shall be discreet.
Quietly now.
Oh, we have so many books to read. Let's get out of here. So we need to go to Hadred's house in Buckenbury. Very well. Okay.
I'll see what I can find.
Well, nice to see you there.
This looks like the place Maywald described.
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
A ghost hovered in the middle of the ruins, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifted and swirled, it retained the face of an elderly man, and robes that mark wealth and status. It turned to you. And who exactly are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugford III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
His cloudy eyes swam with resentment. It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wedeka's house of worship. What exactly are you doing?
Worshipping Woodeka, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
Tell me more about Wedeka.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Woodeka watches over them all. Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Woodeka is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
I was told I'd find the Temple of Wedeka here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
What stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
The ghost gestured to an impossible pile of rubble, like the rest of the ruin. It seemed to have remained untouched for over a century. Tell me, where I'd find the entrance to these catacombs?
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
Thank you, Ghost.
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I don't follow. Have you looking at yourself lately?
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Goodbye. Just the seers, eh? Villian diplomat. Let's get dinner, the charred barge knowledge. The Valian embassy. Carthage Hill is on top of here. Let's just discover this area as well.
I'm on the trail.
Yeah, I know you are. Rabadav Duver. What an interesting name. Okay, we know all about these places here. Right, Where were we supposed to go again? Let's see. Blackenbury. Good enough place. Nadine. The woman is absorbed in a book, muttering softly as she reads.
Welcome.
A woman was standing in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She is fixated on a page of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers, the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when when my shadow crossed the pages of her book. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. Busy? With what exactly? She snapped her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at rebirth, out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? Souls power bodies and gives their tissues life, but only when they are firmly attached. Its separation leads to woes. Spate of soul-related ailments include the hollowborn, but if we understood how to reattach a soul, we could end the legacy, maybe even conquer death. That's the theory anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it into practice. And what is it that you need? There's a manuscript called The Theologians of Pentagram. It contains research to Pentagram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in Elder's archives. The theorems could advance my research by leaps of bounds, but Grinda, the high activists, worship well, which means that she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge, and since she is not exactly a proponent of animacy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be that first. Anyway, I should probably get back to work. Very well.
I shall be discreet.
Harold's house, where Lady Webb is supposed to be.
Shh.
Slow and silent. Not a sound.
Okay. Cool stones there. And what is this? Raymond Manor. House of Duamenau. Let's go here. Oh, you wanna speak?
Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
And also soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me something about it. They get these young kids in there and they'll tell them about blacksmithing and about revolution and about tradition, talk to the golem like he created the Crucible Knights, and he's forced to go win there with his independence. Then they join in turn out of all the way. Any of these knights ever talks about is when are we going to get recognized as a real knighthood? When are we going to get our titles and our lands? Their High Justice wants to be an earl. Says it's Abaddon's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abaddon taught him to do so. And the nobles will respond that their gods told them that they are the only true nobles. Trouble with having all these gods is you've got support no matter how dumb your ideas are. Maybe we had the right idea of blowing some of them up. Less of them to hide behind.
I'm on the trail.
Better. Is that a Harris house? No? I was mistaken then. Fancy. Dunred engines. I think yes, I'm certain of it. Yeah, talking to yourself is a sure way to get my attention. Oh, look at that, we just leveled up. Oh no, I wanted to see this. 2 turns remaining. It hasn't changed for 5 weeks. Either Kana is an incompetent fool, or this game is trying my patience.
Nice and quiet.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Don't need to choose anything right now. Kuran.
Shh.
A fine selection of wine, no doubt. Some of these vintages are even older than the Defiance Bay itself. Oh, it's milk, I want to steal it, okay?
Welcome.
You carry whispers, said Nua, gilded veil. Old voices indeed. You must be mistaken. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of the ancients. I don't appreciate the intrusion. Most fortunate for you then, that my duties to Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere, regarded a table packed with scrolls. What brings you to Durin's Row? Is this Affilivian real? It's signed by you. He held the page, but seemed to stare through the words, as if something woven in the fabric of the papers. Curran bears the pointed teeth. I remembered Pelham, a peering peacock of a man, his mouth dry and hands moist, when I told him he was a sole descendant of an Andirian general, one who'd fought against the Hadring rebellion. He scanned the affidavit, a forgery, and not the first I've seen. He handed back to me. But I have no time for knights and their obsessions. Bring this to the commander, Claver, and show him the seal. If he compares it with another, he should be able to spot the difference. Doom a man for a soul gods gave him. Seems rather unfair. It seems like you can actually use some help, mate. Not at liberty to discuss my works, unfortunately. Dunrin's Row, ears only. Civilian would need the confidence of the Lady Webb before I could share. Tell me more about your skills. I check for souls connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher in our Glampart, We were once known as Bransguin, mind hunters. Nice title, yeah. But it wasn't until the animals began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now we make our best detectives in the world, tracing souls we can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at weapons and see how has it touched it. Useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine. Indeed it is. That's what the game should have been about, by the way. Just saying.
Quietly now.
Hey. All right, then.
You didn't see that, right? Okay, good.
I'm on the trail.
It's a lot of agents. A lot of them. Okay, try to steal whatever it is in here. Potion of littering is displaced image. If you insist, I'll take it. Maybe I should invest in stealth, but my mechanical skills isn't amazing right now. The fangs. That's a matter point then. Lady wants to see you, she'll send for you. Of course she will.
Yes?
You definitely need to level up
Yes.
soon enough. And you will get one. Again, soon enough. Excellent. Okay, let's get up here. Lady Webb, we shall meet with her soon. I bet. Let's go to the Crucible Knights, show them this thing. And seek out the armor. Balon's face is white. Just talked to the little cipher, did you? One of my novelites told me he'd seen someone in the records room. Give me the affirmative. I've done nothing to you. Cheer up. You always thought you were someone special. Soon, everyone will know you are. I won't let you ruin me over this. You think you have a choice. That's adorable. Oh. There he goes. Yeah, there. She's incredibly
I'm
fast,
here.
so it's not gonna be a big trouble. Okay, I need this. Here.
Join arms!
Did that even do anything? I'm just asking.
I'd be
Okay. Puppet this guy.
glad to. Ready.
Ouch. Why you? Where's my wolf?
Ready. After each one.
Go help him.
Hey,
That was bloody ridiculous. Take command of this guy. Right, she has his arm. Okay. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Itamak.
Ready, Watcher.
Okay, not my best moment. Family breastplate. We should rest at the local inn. Of course, you were gonna get your lore up. Again, I'm not gonna choose anything yet. I'm gonna think about it a little bit. After the episode ends, at least.
laying low.
I'm here.
Oh, come on. Time never seems to pass, apparently. Let's move to the first fires. Actually, just a sec. Okay, go to the dozens. He should receive his prize. Also, since the inn is nearby, might as well rest there. Didn't offer much of a bonus actually, but you know, it's fine.
Yes.
I'm worried about this Tsar. She's definitely lagging behind the rest of us. Osric. Is this the armor? Actually, just a sec. I can't wear that, okay? Can I read about it though? This old breastplate has its share of battle scars, but it's clearly been well preserved over the years and still bears some of its original shine. The symbols of the flame is embroidered across the middle. Is this your armor? Osric waves a moment in disbelief. He looked at me, then back at the breastplate. He reached for it slowly, as if expecting it to disappear before he could touch it. How did you manage it? You were right about the affiliate. Unfortunately, Pelham forced me into a fight. A shame it ended like that, but he's been lying weasel who started this. You did all that I asked, and you are owed much. Stop by Sonville's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gears in the city, and I'll see it that she offers an inventory for you. This armor, what is it for you anyway? It's nothing really, just a keepsake. Oh, nice, that's a lot of money. He tried to look me in the eye, but when he did, it appeared to reconsider. He sighed. It commemorates the Order of Margan, highest order of valor, awarded to the dead, never the living, as Daewoodians, real Daewoodians. We don't have the nobility at birthright, unless you're some copper fucker from Adir. All we got is the honor, or bring to our family names. The Order of Magran is, well, they don't give it out too much. Not often you see a member of the dozens whose revolutionary ties are as good as he says they are. This, he pauses, considering the weathered metal, a plate image of its former self, but still catching the light. This is something to live up to. Got business with me? No.
Welcome.
Sondale, show me what you have for sale. Exceptional weapons, a fine blunderbuss, and a good pistol. Resolve minus intellect. Okay. Bile stompers. Look at those boots. They look fine. That's all I can say about them. Let's see actually. Can we sell anything to you? $150 monies. A normal pistol and an aquabus. Yeah, that's it, alright. Resolve and constitution goes up. That seems like a pretty decent ring to have. Very expensive though. I do have the money for it. Do you mind if I purchase it? Who's gonna wear that? That's a lot of breastplates. Keep the plate armor on yourself. Shouldn't have much of trouble. 2,000 more. Okay, trade that. A floppy hat. Okay, cloaked fox and hunter. Will and reflexes go up. Is everything here an artifact? Okay, we're gonna read about every single one of those things, so brace yourselves. Berserker's Bout. This bout was product of a strange collaboration between a famed barbarian Strungberg and the Animancer of comparatively lesser fame. Strungberg was determined to extend the period in which he could cast himself into a fearless frenzy, for it was the means by which he survived most of his battles. The Animancer in turn was much intrigued by the opportunity to investigate the affiliation of Temper, Over a period of time, the trigger of Stumber's rage was isolated and the bell was imbued with a spell which mimicked the effect. The resulting damage done by the laboratory ensured that the pair never collaborated again, but Stumber was very pleased with the belt he received. Frenzied orations? That's only for barbarians. Monacros Arret. Whispers of treason. 3 times per rest. This exquisite piece was crafted by the alchemist of secret society of aristocrats in old Yliel. Throughout his history, has graced the opulent orbit of scheming nobles, influencing politicians, and charming salesmen. The dark bar's monocle featured... how would the monocle look on me? Anyway. Features in string gear and leaf feeling along the rim, and confers sophisticated carries an unmistakable scent of old money. That's for the head. Cloak of the Fox and the Hunter. A Daewoodian legend tells the story of a hunter who spent days in the woods trying to find food for her family. In her first trap, she caught a boar. "Please, great hunter," the boar begged. When she approached, "I am no ordinary boar. I am the ruler of my kind. If you free me, I will reward you greatly." So the hunter freed the boar, who ran off, laughing, never to be seen again. Her second trap caught a turkey. "Please, powerful hunter," the turkey said when she approached, "I am no ordinary turkey. I am the ruler of my kind. If you free me, you will get rewards such as you cannot imagine." So the hunter released the turkey, who also ran off, laughing, never to be seen again. The final trap held a fox. "Please, mighty hunter," the fox begged, as she approached. "I will not free you," said the hunter. "Already I have lost 2 wonderful meals. I will not lose a third one. If you truly will reward me, then I will free you, but you must leave something of yours behind. So I know you will return." So the fox left behind the lead of its legs. Enchanting the hunter's cape with its grace and reflexes, the fox returned to its kind, but was rejected for its short-legged appearances. "You look like a dog," her follower taunted. No longer welcome among her kind, the fox returned to the hunter and offered another deal. She would aid the hunter in all endeavors as payment for her life. This cloak represents the bargain between the fox and the hunter. Whether the worn this cloak is done of the light spotlight. When pulled over the head, the corners look like dog ears. Cool. Minor fertile curses. What? Are you gonna tell me what you do? No? Okay. Then why are you like... It doesn't matter. These boots were created by a small village in the Living Lands that is bordered by a toxic swamp and frequently overrun by venomous weed. Though the hard sole have withstood years of use, the edge of the leather shows signs of corrosion. It is believed that some of the venom has seeped into the boots. Snurf's Folly. 2 resolve and 1 constitution. 1 resolve and 2 constitution. It is a nice ring. What about the hat? What does the hat do? Minus intellect? Nothing. I'm gonna use might and constitution. That is definitely something Eder might want. Should I purchase it? It's not exceptional. Yeah, right. They can't be upgraded actually. Once belonging to a wife of a noted animancer known as Snurf, Dee's white goat wedding ring is set with central pink stone flanked by 2 small diamonds. The shine the gem stands in stark contrast to the grimy worn band. It is rumored that while his love was still on one brink of death, the desperate animancer performed a radical experiment to merge her soul with his. According to the most versatile of the tales, her already weakened body was unable to withstand the strain of binding. While this process extinguished the little life left in her body, it overwhelmed her soul, fragmenting it into oblivion. Overcome with guilt and despair, the once great man lived out the last of his days in self-induced madness, holding on to the hope that he might somehow glimpse traces of her soul amongst his own pitiful reflection. Snur's falling. Constitution 2 resolve. I just want to see something for myself before we decide to purchase that. And we need might and dexterity actually. Oh, not exactly need. Want? Whatever.
Hello.
Open constitution. Let's say we wanted to purchase both of them. That's half of our money right there. We'll get one of them, that's it. The legend behind this hat is that it once belonged to a famed prince of a small kingdom that was conquered and absorbed into an Adrian empire. The prince and his court were known for their outlandish dress, but not unfortunately for powers in battle. In fact, when the prince learned that the Adrian army was marching towards him, he threw a fabulous party to welcome the invaders. This hat survived the war, and the subsequent occupation that has been traded with many dark corners by those whispering to further their societal standings with purchase. Lined with garish purple silk and adorned with large charter's feather, the hat makes a strong, if questionable, fashion statement. Dandy hat of the diseased yak. It makes you stupid. And it's so expensive for some reason. This gives you 2 and takes 1. This one gives you 3. And yet they are the same price. It's amazing. This one gives you 3 as well. Bracelets are... Okay, can you move? Oh, consuming rage. I'm gonna purchase those clothes. When the husband and children of an elven skillcraft were captured by a Tywin of Vakenburg, she and her troops besieged the castle, hoping to negotiate her family's return. Instead, Tywin had them impaled on the battlements, with Engwyn watching from below. Upon seeing this atrocity, Adrian abandoned all rational thought and ran screaming towards Tywin's castle. First in anguish, then in rage, to the surprise of all peasants, Elwyn suddenly stopped screaming and burst into flame, supposedly touched by Margaret herself. Tywin's soldiers loosed their arrows, but Engwyn didn't even slow. She struck the castle gates like a battering ram, bursting through the scattered Tywin soldiers, dispersed to escape her fury. Those who remained threw their masters into the path. Cool. Her flames engulfed him, and no one knows if unhealthy screams that followed came from him or from her, but within minutes both of them had burned to ashes. Only these bracelets survived. These bracelets are made of bronze covered in a dark green panca, etched into metal, are picture of a southern humanoid engulfed in flames. Strangely enough, the humanoid has no head, only 2 blue orbs, where the eyes would normally be. Sounds great. But before we purchase that, because we are gonna purchase that probably. Yeah, I don't have any gloves, so that's a nice thing for you. Do I need to get you up on the bus? That is just as expensive as that. Yeah, we're just gonna purchase this, thank you very much, and we're gonna give it to you.
Well met, friend.
You can have this warble. It's a fine warble. You know, if it's not an artifact, I actually don't need it. Okay, I'm gonna keep the crossbow for now. Great sword and a hunting bow. let's equip that. Very nice. Anyway, this is where I'm gonna end this episode. Thank you all for joining me, and I'm gonna see you all next time. Goodbye.